Welcome to Art with Liz. Today we're going to be working on some turkey paintings. So let's check out what supplies we need and get started. So we're going to need a large sheet of construction paper. I'm using brown, but you can use whatever you like. We'll also need a roll of painter's tape, some washable paint in any color that you like, and some sponges. I used one sponge and cut it into a bunch of little sponges. We'll also need a sheet of tin foil to hold our paint, a small piece of white construction paper. We'll need some tape or glue. We'll also need a pair of scissors. And lastly, we're going to need some markers. I have black, red, and orange. All right, let's get started. So the first thing we're going to do is tape off our turkey's head. So I'm going to use one piece of tape and kind of go off the center of the paper and then work my way down. All right, that looks pretty good. It's just the basic shape of a turkey head. Then we're going to start on our feathers. So I'm going to take a long piece of tape and go from the center of the head up to the top of the page. Then I'm going to work my way over to the left and put another long piece from the side of the head all the way to the end of the page. And just kind of go around the entire head, making different feathers. All right, this looks pretty good. Now I'm going to grab my painter's tape and start working in between each individual feather. I'm just going to add different lines to give it more texture and make it a little more interesting to look at. This is my end product. I'm pretty happy with it, so I'm going to set it aside and grab my tin foil and put some paint on there. I'm also going to grab my sponges because I'm going to need those next. So I'm going to move my paint out of the way so I have a little room to work, and then I'm going to grab my paper and I'm going to start painting. So I'm going to use the sponges to paint. So I'm going to grab one of my sponges and choose my first color. I'm going to dab my sponge into that color paint and then start dabbing it onto a section of my paper. You don't need a whole lot of paint, so if you initially get a lot of paint, just kind of dab your sponge onto the tin foil and it'll help take some of the paint off. Now is the fun part where we get to fill up our paper. So just use all your different colors and fill in all the spots. Perfect, that looks great. I'm going to set my paper aside so it can dry. And then I'm going to grab my white construction paper, scissors, and markers. I'm going to first make some eyes for my turkey. So I'm going to fold my paper in half and then use my scissors to cut out a circle shape. Since my paper is folded into half, I will get 2 eyes out of 1 cut. Right now I'm going to grab my black marker and color in my pupils. All right, perfect. Now I'm going to grab my paper, it's still folded in half, and along the fold, I'm going to cut a triangle shape. This is going to be for my beak. Pretty cool. So I'm going to take my orange marker and color in the top of my beak and also the inside of the beak. The last thing I'm going to cut out is that little piece of whatever that hangs down by the turkey's beak. It's usually red, so I'm going to cut it out and then use my red marker to color it in. Perfect. I have all the pieces to my turkey face. All right, now my painting is pretty dry. So I'm going to go ahead and place the eyes and the beak where I think I want them to be. So I'm using tape, but if you have glue, this would be fine to use glue here too. I'm just gonna put my tape along the back side and glue my eyes, my beak, and the little red thing onto my turkey face. Okay, now starts the magic. We're gonna slowly peel away all the painter's tape. This part can be a little frustrating, so just go slow and take your time. All right, I pulled all the painter's tape off. Some of the paper got stuck to the tape, but that's okay. My turkey is all finished and ready to be hung up on the wall. I hope you guys enjoyed the project, and I'll see you next time.